Welcome to Edible Architect. I'm Patrick McConville, and today for the November edition, we will be baking and building something that will be perfect for your Thanksgiving table. Today we will be baking a Pilgrim Pad cookie house using an original recipe for sweet potato snap cookies and a marshmallowy royal icing mortar. And to go along with this design, we have two cookie texture rollers. The first, which is our Pilgrim Pad wood siding texture roller, I will be applying to the walls as we bake our cookies to get that beautiful siding texture. And then also our thatched roof cookie texture roller, which I will be applying to the large roof pieces in order to create that thatched roof effect. I did consider building a Native American themed design and researched what traditional Native American homes looked like at the first Thanksgiving. And they lived, the Wampanoag people, in traditional wigwam style homes, which are very curvy and rounded. So very difficult to do with cookie cutters, and the reason why we will be doing the Pilgrim design today. When you're ready to begin, grab your cookie cutter construction set, your cookie texture rollers, and then any of your baking supplies, and come back to the kitchen and we will get started making the dough for our walls. When you're ready to begin making the dough for your walls, gather all of your ingredients. First, you can grab your granulated sugar, room temperature unsalted butter, 2 room temperature egg whites, vanilla extract, and then your dry ingredients, which I have whisked together, and those are cake flour, sweet potato flour, cinnamon, baking soda, and salt. So you want to whisk those together and get them nice and well mixed. And then you can begin by adding your butter and sugar to the bowl of your stand mixer or the bowl of your hand mixer. And then cream those together, and then we will begin to add our vanilla and egg whites. Once your sugar is well mixed into your butter, you can add your vanilla, in this case 1 teaspoon. And then also add the first of your 2 egg whites, and you will beat well after each addition, adding each egg white one at a time. Once you've mixed in your eggs, you can go ahead and begin to add your dry ingredients. I would add them in roughly half-cup increments, and then mix well until you have added everything to your mix. And what you should end up with in the end is a dough that is very clay-like, so very moldable, and a dough that you'll be able to work with. Not so dry that it's crumbly and breaking apart. If you have that, add a little bit of water, tiny little bit at a time until you get the right consistency. And if your dough is too wet, you don't want that either. So add a little bit more flour until you get that right texture. Which again is like clay, and you'll be able to mold and work with it. Once you have your dough, you'll split it into 2 balls and then wrap each ball in plastic wrap, and then come back and we'll begin rolling everything out and baking our pieces. When you're ready to begin baking your cookies, preheat your oven to 375 degrees, and then grab your 2 dough balls. The dough you can store in the refrigerator up to 24 hours in advance. If you do choose to do that though, you want to take it out about 30 minutes before using it to make sure that it's the right consistency for rolling out. Or you can do like I'm doing and use it right away. You will also need a rolling pin. And here I have 1/8 inch rolling pin bands to make sure that I get that 1/8 inch perfect thickness to all of my cookies. I have some extra cake flour to dust my surfaces, some clay tools to pry any window and door cutouts from their openings. I have my 2 texture rollers for my siding and my thatched roof. Hopefully I will remember to apply them before I bake the cookies. And then I have my cookie cutter construction set. For this design, each piece will need to be baked twice. So bake 2 of each piece of the house, so that's a total of 5 pieces, and then that way you'll have enough to construct one Pilgrim Pad. With this design, we also have 3 accessory cookie cutters, one which is a Thanksgiving turkey, and then a pumpkin and a gourd. So you can bake as many of those as you like and then use them to decorate your Thanksgiving Pilgrim Pad to put at the center of your table so that it looks nice and fall-ish. And then you can also bake extras to put around for people to snack on so that they don't attack your main structure until you're ready to eat it. And when you're ready, you can cut out all of your pieces, put them on parchment-lined baking sheets, and then bake the cookies for 10 to 12 minutes. You really want to monitor them and then take them out just when they're beginning to turn golden. You don't want them to get too dark. And optionally, before baking, you can sprinkle all of your cookies with sugar, and then that will give a nice sugary texture to the outside, and you'll have a nice crisp cookie underneath. So go ahead, start rolling out your cookies, bake them, and then allow them to cool completely. Come back here and we'll begin our assembly. While you wait for your cookies to cool, you can make your royal icing or mortar. To get started, take your room temperature egg whites and add them to the bowl of your stand mixer or your hand mixer. And then you want to mix those on high for approximately 1 minute until they're nice and foamy. Once your egg whites are nice and foamy, you can begin to add your first lemon juice. So that is 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And then begin to add your dry mixture. So this is confectioner sugar whisked together with cream of tartar. And you want to add that in roughly 1/2 cup increments. And then incorporate that slowly in 1/2 cup increments until it's all been incorporated. And then you want to mix that on high for approximately anywhere between 3 and 5 or even 6 minutes, depending on the speed of your mixer. Ideally, you want stiff peaks and you want a icing that will have a texture that will hold the structure together, but it won't be so thick that you won't be able to push it through a piping bag. So go ahead, add all of your dry ingredient mixture, and then switch it on high for approximately anywhere between 3 to 6 minutes. And when you have a texture that will hold a house together, so thick enough to do that, but not so thick that you can't pipe it through a piping bag, you can go ahead and transfer it to your piping bag. Once you've baked all of your cookies and they're completely cooled, they should look something like this. And you should also take your mortar, and then once you have those completed, you can begin construction on your Pilgrim Pad. To begin, you can take whatever platform you'll be using to build your structure. In my case, I have a little cake stand here that I got at a local craft store, and I drilled a hole through the bottom and then snaked a battery light kit up through the center so that I can light my Pilgrim Pad from within. If you'd like, you can do the same, but it's completely unnecessary. And what I recommend is that you take the cookie cutter construction set front and side walls, and then place those perpendicular to one another where you want those walls to sit on your platform. And then using a pencil, you can trace and align the exact length of both sides. And then that will give you a good starting point so that you have a nice squared corner for your building. To begin, you will want to take first whatever will be the front of your Pilgrim Pad. And so look at the front pieces and determine if there's one piece that looks better than another. In this case, I think I like this piece a little bit better. And what you'll want to do is add a line of icing to the inside face on either side on the short edge, as well as along the bottom edge. And then you'll want to have some kind of a support handy, and find that longer line that you drew on your platform where you want the front wall of your house to sit, and then press that wall down into that line of icing, and then temporarily lean it up against your support. Next, take one of your side walls, and you can see that on all of the walls, we have this beautiful siding texture from our cookie texture roller. So I think it really looks like that kind of pilgrim cottage siding that you would imagine. And on that side wall, add a line of icing to the bottom edge. And then press that down into place along that shorter line that you drew, and then press it against that line of icing on the front wall, making a nice squared corner with clean lines. And you can remove your support. And next, find your other side wall and repeat that process. So a line of icing along the bottom edge, and then press that into place, ensuring nice squared corners and clean edges. Next, you'll take your front or back wall, and then you will want to first add a line of icing to the front edge of either side wall, and then add a line of icing to the bottom edge of that front or back wall. And then you want to press that front piece or back piece down into place, meeting it up with your side walls and making nice clean corners and pressing it down against the platform so that you have a nice squared base structure. And once we have all of our walls in place, we can put our roof pieces on the structure. So begin with whatever you determine will be the back of your Pilgrim Pad. So maybe I want this to be a front yard that I can decorate with turkeys and some gourds and pumpkins. So this will be the back. So whatever is the back, you will want to add 3 lines of icing along the top 3 edges of that side. And then take one of your roof pieces, so whichever is less perfect, and then ensuring that if you can see that beautiful thatched roof texture displays really beautifully on the cookies. But you want to ensure that that is pointing downward so that it gives the effect of kind of straw layer after layer up on the roof. And then you want to press that roof piece carefully into place on that side. And you just want to make sure that that roof does not protrude beyond the top edge, because you don't want it to interfere with your other roof. And then just kind of carefully pinch everything together. And then add a line of icing to the top 3 edges on the other side, as well as along that center roof line. And then take your other roof piece, again ensuring that it faces the proper way to give that thatched roof effect. Press that into place. On the other side. And pinch everything together carefully. And there we have an enclosed structure. Now we can assemble our chimney. And to do that, you want to add a line of icing to the inside face on 2 opposite sides. And then take one of your chimney side pieces and then pressing it so that the cutout faces upward, press both against your work surface and then join that side piece of your chimney with the line of icing on the front of your chimney so that you get a nice square corner with clean lines. Take the other side of your chimney and repeat that process on the other side. And then take the back of your chimney, add a line of icing to 2 opposite sides of the inside face. And then press that down against the 2 sides of your chimney to form a squared structure. And then set that aside to dry for a few minutes. And while that is drying, I will go ahead and decorate the scene using all of these various different little doors that I created, using the cutouts, shutters, gourd cookies, turkeys, of course, pumpkins. And so I'm going to go ahead, I will decorate this and then come back. We will apply the chimney and then we will have a completed structure. And once your chimney is dry, meaning that you can manipulate it without it falling apart, we're ready to install it. So to do so, you want to add icing to the bottom 4 edges of the chimney once it's inverted. So that will be the side with the cutouts. And then you want to invert that carefully over your roof line and press that down into place so that it's as straight as possible. And with the chimney installed, we have a completed Pilgrim Pad. And I think that any pilgrim would be happy to call it home. So I'm going to clean up and then come back and we will light it up and I will inform you as to how I plan to serve it and we'll be done. Once you've completed your Pilgrim Pad, it should look something like this. And I really love how this came out. This actually might be my new favorite design that we've done so far. I love the little gourd patch and pumpkin patch that I did in the front. It's really fun. And I made the turkeys a focal point on the roof line. And you can see that that thatched roof texture really kind of gives you the effect of a thatched roof on a pilgrim hut. And the siding, I think that the scale is perfect. It really kind of gives that effect of what the pilgrim houses look like. So really, really love this. And I had never had a sweet potato cookie before this, and this recipe is delicious. So if you try it, I hope you like it. Please let me know, give me some feedback, leave a comment, and we can go ahead and light it up. So as I mentioned, I had put a battery light kit up and through the bottom of my base so we can light our Pilgrim Pad and really make it a stunning tablescape for our Thanksgiving guests. And I think I actually may make a few of these and then create a little pilgrim village at the center of the table. And then for dessert, put a few hammers out on the table and everyone can smash these up and enjoy them. And I think I would serve them either with vanilla ice cream because the cookie itself has a great flavor, so you don't want to overpower it, or you can just serve it with tea and coffee. I think, you don't want to really overdo it, and I wouldn't do too much more. I did add a little bit of food coloring to my royal icing, which I don't usually do, but I thought for Thanksgiving it might be nice to have a little bit of that orange color on the table, and I'm really glad that I did so. If you are interested in making the Pilgrim Pad, you can find this cookie cutter construction set along with all of our other sets on ediblearchitect.com. You can visit our store there, and you will also find our cookie texture rollers. The rollers that we used today were the Pilgrim Pad wood siding cookie texture roller and the thatched roof cookie texture roller. So again, those and all of our various cookie cutter construction sets and texture rollers can be found there. You can also find us on social media at Edible Architect. Please feel free to tag us if you do build any of our structures, or use hashtag Edible Architect and join our community. Thank you so much. I really know that this is something that I will make a new Thanksgiving tradition with my family, and I hope it's something that you will with yours. So if you do make one, please feel free to tag us. I would love to see it, and I cannot wait to see what you build. Happy Thanksgiving.